The famous poet and author Wendell Berry once stated, "The Earth is what we all have in common," and the fact that it is the only planet in our solar system on which people may live their full lives has led me to feel that he was correct. I'd also like to point out that we should be grateful for the resources we currently have, because the fact that we are destroying or not even realizing that we are contributing to the destruction of our environment is crazy to me. Even the smallest of little help matters. We only have one Earth, so it's up to us to start taking care of it. For the time being, let me make a proper introduction. I'll be your speaker for today. My name is Chakter Sawal, and naturally, we'll discuss the natural resources of the Philippines. We're all aware of the Philippines' exceptional ingenuity in Southeast Asia. You might be asking, what makes this subject interesting? One of them is by studying this subject. We will be able to learn about the resources we currently have, how they are used in our nation, and why is it crucial for us to preserve them for future generations. In this adventure, we'll look at how human behaviors affect our resources. Have you ever wondered where the Philippines gets its electricity from? The nation's energy sources are listed below: fossil fuels, hydropower, and even geothermal energy sources. While fossil fuels are categorized as non-renewable energy sources, geothermal and hydropower, on the other hand, are both considered renewable energy sources. Let's now define these energy sources in further detail. A sustainable energy source called geothermal energy is obtained from the heat deep inside the earth. In addition to producing electricity, this energy may also be utilized to heat and cool buildings, run spas, and even heat natural springs. A dam or other structures that alters the natural flow of a river or other bodies of water to produce electricity is known as hydropower, sometimes also known as hydroelectric power. Hydropower depends on a perpetual, continuously renewing water cycle to produce electricity, using water as a fuel that is never lost or gained throughout the process. Yet, we cannot see the same with fossil fuels. Since it came from the breakdown of animals and plants millions of years ago, the supply would be limited and non-renewable, and they will eventually run out. Fossil fuels can also be utilized in homes to produce heat, in massive power plants to produce electricity, and they can even be used to power engines. Given that we know about the energy resource, we will look at how water and soil resources are utilized in the Philippines. Rivers, lakes, basins, groundwater reservoirs are our nation's primary water sources. Water is available throughout the Philippines. However, certain places still does not have the same access to it. Did you know that out of 109 million residents, 57 million lack access to a reliable clean water supply, and 43 million lack access to adequate household sanitation facilities? Despite its growing economy, the Philippines faces significant water and sanitation access challenges. The country is rapidly urbanizing, and its growing cities are straining to provide enough water and sanitation services to new residents. Just a trivia, did you guys know that the Philippines ranks 8th for Asia rice production? This is due to the high quality of our land. But how does the country utilizes its soil? Lowland soil in the Philippines are generally used for paddy rice farming during the wet season. However, during the dry season, some are used for highland crops such as maize, tobacco, vegetables, and even more. Our soil appears to be very high quality, making it a valuable source of both food and medicine. Additionally, it may even clean and purify our water, reducing flood risks as well. Even if our natural resources are still in good condition, our country may face challenges with our resources owing to human activities that have a detrimental impact on them. In the case of water resources, we face a host of series of threats, most of which are the product of human activity. Among these are sedimentation, pollution, climate change, deforestation, terrain changes, and even urban growth. On the other hand, incorrect garbage disposal has a negative impact on our soil quality. Soil contamination occurs when dangerous chemicals from human and industrial influence are discarded carelessly, changing the natural health and condition of the soil. To safeguard our resources, we must first understand the procedures to follow it when it comes to resource conservation. Alternatives such as solar panels should be considered for energy conservation. Simply acts like turning off the lights when not in use in our homes, may already accomplish a lot. Forest conservation, no-till farming, crop rotation, and afforestation might all help safeguard our soil resources. Last but not the least, for our water resources, keep the tap closed when not in use. Use no more water than necessary while washing and cleaning clothes, kitchenwares, and other goods. Rainwater collection is one of the most efficient techniques for saving water, making it a reliable source for gardening and washing. Proper waste management is another thing that we should do when it comes to conserving our resources. Once the community is aware of the problems caused by trashes, it may take steps to alleviate them, beginning with programs that best meet the needs and capacities of the community. A complete community solid waste program would encompass all these procedures, reducing the amount of garbage created, especially the hazardous and non-recyclable products, separate the garbage in areas where it's easier and safer for us to utilize it. Food scrap and other organic wastes should be compost. Choose natural materials whenever possible. Recycle resources while urging the government and businesses to build a community recycling network would already help securely collect, transport, and store garbage. Respect and reward those who make these efforts and dispose of all garbage that cannot be repurposed and or reused safely. The consumption of natural resources is increasing at the same alarming rate as the world population. Therefore, it is important for us to conserve these energy resources to preserve natural harmony and protect them for future generations. Finally, as we approach the end of this, the main point is that we are close to approaching a crisis with our resources. It is very important for us to save it for future generation. As we know for now, yes, the resources are still enough for us, but someday they will be limited, which is contributed by the negative effects of human activities like deforestations and such. And the effects of these activities could shaken the availability of the resources someday. As Wendell Berry once said, the earth is the only thing we have in common. So as its people, we should know that it's essential for us to conserve and take care of its resources. I just want you guys to remember the quote by Swaminathan: if conservation of natural resources goes wrong, then nothing else will go right.